Joining me now, Tsvetta Kaleynska, founder and CEO of Rila Global Consulting. Tsvetta, great to have you at the desk. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
So your company analyzed 11 million social posts over the last 30 days to figure out what Americans are buying and what could essentially go wrong this holiday season. So let's break it all down. I guess let's start on the retail side. What are the biggest risks to holiday spending right now?
So when I analyze consumers and digital conversations on social media, what I care about and what I want to see is how Main Street basically reacts to new products, new trends, sensations, or anything interesting that could impact Wall Street and the financial aspects and the earnings. When I analyzed the last month of discussions, when it comes to retail shopping, purchasing behavior, there were a few interesting things that I saw. For retailers specifically, the one thing that we can mention to be very careful with based on the data that we saw is actually app and website glitches and abandoned shopping carts. So over and over, the discussions on social media showed us that a lot of the consumers are abandoning their shopping carts or moving to their shopping cart to another retailer because of app and website glitches. So that would be my number one thing, especially now going into the holidays.
So that's interesting. So it's technical glitches, not because they're abandoning because they realize they can't afford to pay for what's in the shopping cart.
Right, yeah, absolutely technical. And it goes really hand in hand with more of the operational sides that we saw through the discussions on social media, what consumers are facing. So anytime an operational part of the website or their app does not work, the shopping cart basically gets abandoned or it gets moved to another retailer who can actually provide. The second interesting thing, in addition to that, was actually shipping speed, and anything related to the deliverability of the product within the specific context or timeline that the customer is expecting. So there's a lot of that expectation coupled with the technical aspect that these retailers have to watch out for.
So if they can't get it soon enough, they'll just switch retailers altogether?
Well, not so much so. I'd say what consumers actually pointed out was, if you promise me that you will deliver it within that time window, you really better do it. Otherwise, I will not order with you the next time around. So it wasn't so much for any of the promises made. It was actually on the deliverability side of, did you actually deliver it on time for me?
What are you seeing in terms of seasonal momentum and actually how strong the consumer is at this point?
Well, I have to say that because of this most recent data that I analyzed, there were a lot of mixed feelings that the consumer had. So again, we're right now going into the holiday season, so there's a lot of optimism, a lot of excitement, and also a lot of shopping that's going on. But at the same time, we are still in the inflation era of discussions that are happening in the US among US consumers. So it's very much like a mixed message that I saw. A lot of momentum building up going into the holidays, but at the same time, also a lot of worry about discretionary spending and how much of that should actually be spent.
Okay, so let's talk about the shopping that's going on. What are consumers still buying? What are they holding back on? What are they cutting back on?
So the most out of those 11 million, the most talked about, of course, products or items that consumers were buying and are currently buying, mentioned was 52% of these 11 million discussions were groceries, anything related to groceries. Here are interesting call-outs that I can make. Beef and poultry and anything related to protein. I think we all have heard the news over and over again, very expensive, consumers are upset. Again, going into Thanksgiving, consumers are looking for anything related to deal when it comes to turkey from the protein side. And then moving into the pantry, the most talked about products were actually coffee. Of course, any pantry related to baking, because again, we're going into Thanksgiving. But the most interesting to me was actually mayonnaise. So any brands that are in the mayonnaise space should probably take that as an opportunity to do any type of campaigning, because that was an item that over year is the first time that it actually pops up in conversations in the US. So it must be a mayonnaise season right now.
What are those conversations about mayo? What are they talking about? The price of it?
Well, both pricing and recipes too. So pricing, brand differentiation, and the recipe around, holiday season coming up. There's a lot of momentum in the mayonnaise space. Again, that was the interesting finding that I found, because when I compare the same discussion around mayonnaise from last year, same time last year, there were pretty much none. So again, good opportunity for these brands to leverage.
Okay, that's really interesting. The season of Mayo. Okay, so I don't think it's a huge surprise that people are still spending money on groceries. What else are they spending money on, and what are they really kind of avoiding spending money on?
So beauty and wellness was the second category that I saw trending, with 29% of all 11 million discussions around anything related to beauty and wellness. And this category we can treat as two ways, or two buckets if we think about it. The first one would be your traditional beauty and wellness products, so anything related to makeup, skincare brands, and traditional beauty, so hairdressers, barbershops, nails, etc. And then the second one is more related to, I guess, recreational beauty and wellness methods that consumers seem to be using in the US, which is more related to vaping, anything related to cannabis, and similar products. So anything related to that category specifically, was tied under the beauty and wellness, and it was more presented by consumers as a stress management tool, which then brought us back tied to that inflation discussion, and also honestly the tariff discussion on how expensive some of these products were. So that category I thought was fascinating when I dove deeper into it, and I thought that it's interesting how the US consumer presently, most recently, is literally coping with that stress coming from news, from the inflation updates, and also from day-to-day survival, what it seems like. And
Go ahead.
the third most interesting category, which I found, was obviously there's other and discretionary spending, which we looped in a bunch of products inside. The interesting thing that I saw there were two things. The first one is engagement rings are spiking right now. Anything related to marriage and engagement ring conversations is trending higher. I think not so surprising given the holiday season. And then the second one is actually that platforms such as TikTok seem to be treated as a whole new way of e-commerce right now. So consumers discussed in detail a variety of products, including bras, massage guns, and again, like bonsai tools that I had to look up what that means, just because they have been bombarded with so much messaging on that specific platform that it has become and could be treated as almost another retailer. So that is a very interesting finding, I think, from investment side, not so much about what consumers care about currently and presently, but how this platform specifically is going to be treated as a retailer in the future, with innovative tools and, again, specific algorithms that the same consumers just talked about this month, where they feel like they're submerged into this e-commerce space.
Yeah, I was taking a look at your notes, and some of the unexpected purchase trends were quite surprising to me. Things that are definitely not on my radar, including the professional bonsai tools, high capacity dust collectors, which I could use, a viral $8 jelly bra from TikTok Shop, Fortnite cosmetics, impulse-filled TikTok Shop carts. So I think it's something certainly to watch is how TikTok is really changing consumer behavior. You say your point at Rila is to really take the Main Street analytics and apply them to Wall Street. What's the message to Wall Street right now based on everything that you're seeing?
Well, it would depend. My answer would depend on what the focus and objective of Wall Street is. Whether we're focused on, again, stock earnings by brand, then my message would be continue focusing on places and commerce shops that deliver high visibility, but also good algorithmic profiles and technical capabilities with the ability to basically scale, reach not only the US, but also international. If we talk about my message to Wall Street when it comes to marketing campaigns and branding campaigns, I would absolutely say that since we're in the perfect season to advertise anything related to food, and again, those pantry items that we mentioned just now, this is probably a really good time to leverage all your marketing tools under your belt and maybe try to loop in some influencers, as it really appears that TikTok is really working as an e-commerce place. And in general, if I had to give just one advice, it would be just continue monitoring the high profile retailers, and how they're treating AI at the moment, because that is going into Q4 in 2026. That is all that we would probably want to focus on, especially because it will really be coupled and tied directly to everything from product, the whole funnel of the product, from landing on the page to actually shopping, exiting that shopping cart and completing it, and then to the deliverability that we just covered.
Okay, so that's the message to Wall Street. What's the overall message about the consumer that you're getting right now, based on all of the social listening that you're doing, the combing through? What is the state of the U.S. consumer right now?
The state of the US consumer right now is very shaky. I would say for brands, be very careful how you talk to your consumer and how you pick your partnerships and how you pick your messaging. Anything that is new and innovative in your marketing strategy, forget about it. Do not do it. Now is not a time to test how far your audience will go with this new and flashy strategy that you have. Just keep it the same, keep it steady. When it comes to general US consumer state, I'd say it's a very nuanced profile right now. This has been probably one of the toughest years for consumers between tariffs, inflation, multiple global economic and political societal changes that we've seen. So again, just keep it safe, and I would say stay low, honestly. This is the year to be very careful.
Shaky consumer, but still willing to spend money on bonsai tools and jelly bras. Tsvetta, really appreciate all of your insights. Really interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
That's Tsvetta Kaleynska, founder and CEO of Rila Global Consulting.